Today, I'll talk about the general global bias of markets and another crypto trade that I took recently. I'll talk about what affects the markets most, what causes these sharp drops. In the second part, I'll continue with the trade that I took recently. However, I hope that you have watched the previous video. This will be the second part. If you're ready, let's start. Okay, let's start with the global bias. Before even opening a chart, you have to catch the news and get a global bias. This is an extremely important part of trading. Let's start with the Consumer Price Index. As you know, inflation hits us all. You do not even need news for this. You can easily feel the inflation yourself. How are your utility bills or regular shopping bills compared to last year? Raising inflation means some market bubbles are gonna burst soon, and get ready for short positions. Of course, every inflation has resulted in high interest rates in human history. What does it mean to us traders? It simply means money will become quite expensive. It is bad for companies. They will not be able to borrow money and improve their workflow. It is bad for individuals like you and me. Everything is already getting expensive. We also could lose our jobs. So all in all, people do not want to invest anymore. Stock or crypto bubbles will burst. However, it is a great environment for short positions. So as a result, money supply will slow down. All scared investors will want to stay in cash and purchase government bonds, which is the safest possible place for big money holders. So they will use every bull attack on financial assets as a doorway to sell it. The best example is Bitcoin. It is down from 60k to 20k. Big investors use every mini bull run to escape from it. The last thing that I would like to talk about is the Luna incident. Investment is all about trust. When I buy a government bond, I trust the government will pay back my money. When I buy stock shares, I trust the company will grow and bring me profits. Trust is so simple. Would you keep giving money to your friend who does not pay you back each time? This Luna incident has shaken the crypto world and created distrust. This is why there is a short bias for the moment. I cannot speak for the future. This could be an excellent thing, eliminating weak and unstable blockchain and crypto projects. Okay, I think this is enough. Let's go back to trading. Now, if you remember my last video, I talked about how I traded this area. This is my gameplay area. I'm gonna teach you something with this chart. When you analyze your high time frames, once you get your bias, short or long, then just define your gameplay areas. Right now, I'm gonna show you that how I determined this gameplay area. What do we have here? High time frame direction is already short biased, which I explained in the previous video. My first idea, price will react from my OTE and imbalance to the imbalance below. My second idea, the price will move from the premium zone to the discount zone. My third idea, liquidity taken as you can see, and imbalance tapped. I have so much fuel for short. My last idea is there are clear equal lows here. Price will be pulled by it. As you can see, this is how I determined my gameplay area. Identify your gameplay areas in high time frames and keep trading it in low time frames. Okay, as you can see a mini downtrend here where the liquidity lies. And I waited for this liquidity to be taken before trading. I have an external screen where I have a Bitcoin chart open for like 14, 15 hours a day. When I work with my other jobs, I can patiently screen the Bitcoin before my trades. What happens here is mini downtrend liquidity is being taken, as you can see. This indicates to me I can now wait for short positions. This is a really high quality break, and it is leaving the giant imbalance behind. And there is a very nice engulfing pattern here. Here is my secret tip for you. Before opening a position, check if there is a liquidity taken anytime soon. Do we have enough fuel for the short or long? As you can easily see, very nice equal lows appear here. As I always say, equal lows and highs are just price magnets. Another reason for short bias for me. Now this is a great entry place and people keep asking me where to enter a trade, which candlestick, can you tell me exactly where to enter a trade? I keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. Your stop loss and targets are more important than your entry because the stop loss will determine the fate of your trade, not your entry. As you can see, my stop loss is quite large. I placed it above the supply area because cryptocurrencies are really shaky nowadays. Just aim for 1.5R, 2R, or maximum 3R profits nowadays. We do not need to be heroes and try 20R or 30R. We only need to make money. Okay folks, I hope that I made things clear enough. Price action requires a lot of practice, but the results are great. Would you like to subscribe to the channel and help me to grow it? Thank you, take care and see you soon.